Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Hope everybody had a great trading day yesterday as we are rounding to the weekend. It's hump day, everybody. As people like to say, hump day. So those of you that are regulars to the channel, I did not get a video out yesterday because, frankly, I recorded it 3 times, well, twice, and then the third time when it crashed again, I decided, you know what, there's a reason. And everything happens in threes, and so I tweeted out a couple of updates, and one of the updates that I talked about was that the bulls were getting tired. Bulls were getting tired in the Nasdaq and in the S&P, and so let's go ahead and dive right into it. So yesterday, unfortunately, I didn't get the video out in time. I had talked about when I had recorded a short on a breakdown below this line, and my reasoning for that. And it's easy for me to say that. I said this yesterday when nobody heard me, but but it was showing me this momentum weakness in the overnight. And so my feeling was that we may get a little bit of a pullback after we drop through here. Now, I will say that I originally had a profit objective of right here at 66.78, which is, you know, still 20 points in the Nasdaq is nothing to shake a stick at. But we've now come down a bit further. Now we've come into the area that we bounced off of on Sunday night, and this area is no longer valid. So we've got to remove that area. Remember that I only remove lines while I've got a class or while I'm doing a video. So, you know, our S&P level, we've not quite come down to yet. We are a little bit up in pre-market trading this morning, although really with no super strong momentum. So I don't really have much to add on that market. I don't really have much to add on the Nasdaq. So neither one do I have anything super to add to. I will put this area here in as a potential short. I think that if we do rally back up today into this region, for you to be aware, I was speaking to a very good friend yesterday, and he said, well, what do you think is going to happen today? And I kind of felt like we were, you know, this is the definition of range bound. And range bound, which is what we are in a 4-hour time period, you know, we're still inside of this big range in the NQ. This range does still continue to exist. Now, the NQ was our leading market. It's falling faster than the rest, and that's due to a lot of those technology-based stocks, right? So you've got Facebook, which is fallen down, and I kind of thought that there may be a chance for a bit of a reversal on the daily chart. For those of you that look at Twitter, I thought that we might get a bit of a reversal on this daily chart here, but only as a confirmation. Well, there was no confirmation entry to be had, and that's really why we look at those confirmations. A lot of people said, well, the gap down below is better. Well, that one blew right through too. So ultimately, Facebook is continuing to fall. Apple even has shown, yesterday was a very strong red day for Apple, a full bearish engulfing candle. Tesla has really had a go of things in the last few days. We've actually come down to what could be a potential reversal point in Tesla, but just kind of keep your eye on it. So my point is that the tech stocks are just getting pummeled overall, and that's really what's leading that Nasdaq down at the moment. So, you know, I'm going to keep my eye on the S&P as really my next potential area. The Nasdaq is still our weakest of the markets. Looking at crude oil, so crude oil is coming down just a bit from its high the other day. We talked about a potential breakout long if we got above 66.70. Obviously, we were not able to do that. Today, I would take a look at this area right in here for a possibility of a short. Now, this happened right around the opening of the U.S. markets, and the opening of the U.S. markets, that could be, you know, that's kind of the origin of a slide down. So if prices come back up into here, it could reverse back and head back down. So keep an eye on this. I'm going to change this to a dashed line, just maybe do this as a confirmation style entry. So that you can be a little bit more cautious on it. Although now that I have a lower swing low and a lower swing high, the hourly trend has switched to down. The 4-hour still has not, though. So our hourly trend is weakening with momentum, but the 4-hour is not quite there yet. Gold has come down. Now, gold's come down to an area that could be a potential reversal. If you do get a reversal in gold, look to this area up above for a potential profit objective going forward in gold. Moving over to our bonds and currency markets. So in our bond market, the ZN, we finally have hit our level, and then it didn't work. This is actually a level that I've had on the charts for a really, really long time. Price came into the area, it came in with a lot of strength. It started its move away, and then in the overnight hours, as the London markets opened, we blew right through that potential area. So that area has to be removed now that we've blown right through it, and we've got to start looking for new areas. So bonds have been showing a bit of strength recently. We are seeing a little bit of strength as the bonds have started to rally a bit higher. Could we be putting in a little bit of a rounded bottom through here? Possibly. That could give us some strength back up to this 122 region, especially as we see a little bit of weakness in the market. That is a possibility. So taking a look at a couple of other markets, the Aussie has now come into our area. So if you're in this Aussie trade, you've got a real small profit target on this. And the reason being is that we've got a very small window right there. So if you got your Aussie trade, now's the time to look at moving that stop and taking profits. Our Euro trade, which I tweeted about yesterday in my update, our Euro trade met entry and is continuing its move down. So there's that one is still working in our favor. And then our Canadian dollar trade price has not come into our area in the Canadian levels. So all of those areas still very much in play on the Canadian dollar as well as the euro and the Aussie, although the Aussie trade is getting fairly weak. Japanese yen, we fell off of this resistance point and were unable to come back to it. And so we still have a breakout long above this area, but price has not come back to that resistance point. So I'm going to add this little area here for a very small reversal possibility in the future. So keep an eye on that little tiny area there for a small reversal possibility in the future of the yen. So that's about all I have for today. I think as we're heading into U.S. markets, I think, are closed on Good Friday. So tomorrow is going to really be our Friday, and I don't think I would hold anything over the weekend. So until tomorrow, everybody, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out, Chuck at iiefinancial.com, and I will see you soon. Later.